Her brain weighs less than a quarter pound, or 120 grams, a ratio of 1/16,000 to 1. Her impressive dermal plates look like they should keep her quite safe in the but recent research has discovered they are more likely to try mates.
This is not Fred Flintstone.
She's in danger, however, and her large spiked tail with its own reflex center helps keep most predators at bay.
They trying to say you lived 64 million years ago.
While you're here, you may encounter our
they lying, ain't they?
Let's see what she's all about. Weighs less than a quarter pound.
It's humongous.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an asset out of containment. Everyone must return to the Innovation Center immediately.
Impressive treatment. Special effects is excellent. What if that jaw grabbed you for real? Why you got knife stuck in the stomach? It's supposed to be real. Why you got knife stuck in the stomach?
I like your eyes. You're so real.
I had the one over there had green eyes.
You see the girl that was in that one? The girl that was in that one? Sure, right.
While you're here, you may encounter our Stegosaurus.
It's a hologram.
Love you. Invite me for dinner.
Assalamu alaikum, brother minister.
Allah salam, sir. Peace.
Would you please tell us what Messenger Elijah Muhammad teaches about dinosaurs?
Yes, sir. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teachings covers everything in the field of the sciences of life, and this includes dinosaurs. There's a lot of misinformation, misinterpretation, mistranslation, mistransliteration about dinosaurs. For the sake of clarity in time and space, let me point out that the messenger does not believe in the Caucasians' theory of dinosaurs. And by that, we mean this. They basically teach that there's this Jurassic period. And Hollywood showed these movies of the dinosaurs, and they basically running around doing that thing. Then as children, we seen like the Flintstones, and you had Caucasians living with Dino, the dinosaur, or people think that they were the cavemen living with the dinosaurs. Then you have people that take the devil's theories and transform the theory into actual facts. But in 1972, in his Theology of Time series, the messenger explained to us that a theory may or may not be true. He teaches us that we have to stop listening to guesses. You know, he teaches us that in Islam, everything is mathematics. It's based on cause and effect, actions and reactions. And he explained to us in the Theology of Time, when they asked him about animals and the origin of animals, he explained that Allah taught him, ever since we had the planet, we had animals right here on it. Now, if we in 2017 were to look back in hindsight and try to analyze what animals do we have on the face of the planet Earth, there are too many species on the face of the planet Earth for us to count. There are a whole lot of animals on this planet. And the nature of this planet, the nature of life itself is such that animals come and animals go. By that we mean that we have animals that are on Earth today that will not be on Earth tomorrow. We have species on Earth that scientists try their best to preserve because they know that those particular creatures, for different reasons, man-made or through natural disasters or through nature, are becoming extinct. So there are animals that we can find fossils of that are no longer here. But that's a big jump from going inside a museum and saying 64 million years ago, this particular creature roamed on the earth before man. Because we in the Nation of Islam consider the black man to be the original man. And as the original man, we look at our ancestors. We look at the ancient civilizations. And we look at what did they teach us. And it's according to your own interpretation of the information that you'll come out saying you believe or disbelieve in dinosaurs. In the Nation of Islam, we're more nuanced and more balanced because we're taught to study the sciences of life. So when we look at the scriptures of the Bible, we find that the Bible teaches us that there was some type of giant creature on earth whose tail was so huge and strong it could literally knock down trees. You know, the Holy Quran teaches us that Allah created man or humanity, and he created life forms before man or humanity. So when we look at the devil's theory on dinosaurs, and we take and investigate the science and the origin of that concept of a quote unquote dinosaur, we find that it was one European man. This European man invented the word dinosaur. He used the word dino to describe something that's scary, something that's terrible, something that's huge. And he called it a dino or large or terrible saurus, or a terrible lizard, or a large lizard, or a big giant reptile. That's what a dinosaur is. A dinosaur is nothing but a large reptile, according to the man that came up with the theory or the concept or the name dinosaur. So we can't take his statement, dinosaur, and take it hook, line, and sink and just run off with it and say, oh, I believe in dinosaurs. 64 million years. You got to say, hold up. How do you know it was 64 million years ago? And what you'll find is that they have theories. And their theories, as the messenger said in 1972 in the Theology of Time, they may or may not be true. But when you look at carbon dating and how the science go into carbon dating, you'll find that the scientists, I'm talking about white, black, brown, yellow, and red scientists, they do not consider carbon dating or taking and using modern day methodologies to try to calculate how old something is to be a science. They consider that to be the best available information that they have. And scientifically, there are instances recorded where they found that that science simply does not work or is not accurate. So you may have someone say, this piece of wood, we can see how long the carbon atoms decay, and it tells us that this piece of wood is 10,000 years old or 10 million years old. And you take that same piece of wood and give it to other scientists, and they give you totally different dates with margins in the thousands and the hundreds and the millions and billions of years. So we can't just assume that carbon dating is a factual or actual science, because it's not. So when they talk about certain things regarding these large reptiles, we take the position and condition that we don't know about all that. The messenger said, "And now Savior has arrived." He said in 1974, "Now Savior has arrived." He said, belief and knowledge are different. He said, we can believe that there's an airplane out there on the doorstep. But once we open up that door and look, we then know whether or not there's an airplane out there on that doorstep. So when it comes to dinosaurs, we need to be humble enough to simply admit that there are countless things under the earth, on the earth, flying in the skies, outside of the earth, that we don't know about. And this is the beauty of life itself. It puts us on the path of learning, of investigating, of being analytical and critical in our way of thinking. And this is how human beings learn. So our position is, if you're saying a dinosaur, what is your interpretation of that dinosaur? Because in 2017, we could take you into the ocean, and in the ocean, we can see living huge whales. They're under the waters right now. On the planet that we're on, you can go to India and you'll see Komodo dragons. These dinosaurs, or these terrible lizards, are alive in 2017. These are creatures that their saliva is like acid. They can eat a horse, but they're not ancient creatures. These are creatures that's alive on Earth today. The rhinoceros is still here. The giraffe is here. The elephant is still here. There are huge birds that fly in the air in 2017. So we don't take the position to say, oh, all of this stuff we see in the museum is a lie, or the devil just orchestrated some big hocus pocus and magic mythology. That's spooky too. I mean, no, there are ancient creatures that was on Earth that are no longer on Earth. But that is not the same as taking and finding through scientific methods of archaeology and geography and geology things on the planet and interpreting those things and giving factual dates to those things and placing names on them things and giving them colors and feathers and extrapolating all types of data from the little bit of information that you may have. Many scientists will tell you that a lot of these dinosaurs were not even physically large creatures. They were small as a basketball. So when it comes to the dinosaur, I would recommend to a person that they study the origin of the actual word dinosaur and look at, when did the dinosaur come into our lexicon? When did these terrible lizards come into fruition as a concept? And all around the world, you do have ancient civilizations that teach all kinds of things. They have people that believe that there are dragons in antiquity. And when it comes to mythology, scientists realize that myths are actually rooted in real knowledge. But the actual knowledge usually gets lost as time moves on. And as the people move from place to place and try to translate their information from language to language and custom to custom and language to different ethnicities, these things cause the legend to grow and the mythology to spread until you get dragons, when they could just be talking about some huge creatures that was on Earth, or they talking about some lizards that was on Earth. And when we look at it, we see scientifically, when there's volcanic activity on the planet Earth, that volcanic activity causes mutations. We can see the mutation. We can see a volcano erupt. And that eruption is way worse than all of the white man's nuclear bombs going off at one time. But a lot of people have a theory like the devil could destroy the world 1,000 times over with his nuclear bombs. That's like a little volcano going off. But that volcano going off the effect of that radiation causes plants to mutate. It causes animals to mutate. We see this mutation come about through nature. So I would not be surprised to see that there are creatures that was on Earth and are no longer on Earth, nor would I be surprised that there are creatures on Earth today that we haven't even seen in this day and time. There's creatures deep in the waters, deep in the forest, creatures that we're unfamiliar with, that shy away from human civilization. But that does not mean that I believe in the devil's theory of dinosaurs. I believe that a lot of it is, you could say, guesswork. You know what I mean? A lot of it is based on other theories and people trying to fill in the gaps, because when they try to build that picture, when you don't have all the information, you have to extrapolate. You have to try to imagine, I mean, what was to better understand what is. But I would not waste my time arguing with someone that believes in dinosaurs against someone who doesn't believe in dinosaurs. I would simply look at the information from both sides and say, okay, on both sides, there are things that we know and there are things that we believe. And in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, like all other teachings, everyone on earth, whether they're a Christian, a Catholic, a Baptist, a Methodist, a Jehovah's Witness, a Sunni, a Shia, a member of the Nation of Islam, a 5%er, an atheist, everyone has a worldview. So at the end of the day, when you see and hear people disputing, what you see actually is people disputing their worldview. But when you understand your worldview, you realize that there are things in your worldview that you know, and there are things in your worldview that you believe in. And we, as scientists, should not confuse our theories with our facts, because that's where the confusion comes into play. When you hear us talk about things like the mother plane, things such as human civilization 76 trillion years ago, the grafting of the devil on the island of Pelan over 6,000 years ago, these things are based on our belief, and we're born in that belief, and we grow with our faith, and we develop the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding.